Hi, welcome to the Photoshop tutorial. This is the first lesson, and here I'll just be taking you, letting you know what each of the icons on the screen means and what they are used for. Photoshop is a very simple tool to use. It's basically just working on different layers and arranging them and placing them in the right order until you get to your perfect graphic. So this is the move tool. This tool, you can use it to move anything on your canvas. Currently this background layer is locked and you cannot do anything on it because it's locked. So if I try to move this image, I won't be able to, and it's going to bring up a pop-up message that says that I cannot move the background image. Could not use the move tool because the layer is locked. So now what I need to do is to unlock the layer, and the way to unlock the layer is to double click on this lock key here and press OK. And now if I move this, I'll be able to move it, and that's how to use the move tool. So with the move tool, I can move this and drag it to another canvas. I can move this and put it in another position. I can just move things around with the move tool. This is the marquee tool. If you click and hold, it will bring out the drop down menu where you will see the rectangular marquee tool, elliptical marquee tool, single row marquee tool, and single column marquee tool. I mostly just use the rectangular marquee tool and sometimes the elliptical marquee tool, but mostly I use this. What this is used for is for selection. Basically, if I select this, that means I can work on anything in this space that I've selected, or I can work on anything outside the space depending on how what you want to work on. So for instance, if I want to put color, if I want to fill this particular place that I selected with a color, then what I'll do is just create a new layer, and then if I go to color, paint bucket, and let me choose color, let's choose this. So if I put the color here, that means everything inside this box will be painted, and everything outside this box will not be painted. Deselect. That is what the rectangular tool and the selection tool is used for. So if I want to go back, you can just click on edit and step backward, or you can just press Alt Ctrl Z to go back. So that's that. The elliptical tool, marquee tool, is also used for the same thing, but this time instead of drawing a rectangle, this would draw a circle, as you can see. So that's that. Now we have the lasso tool. The lasso tool, if you click it, it will bring out the drop down menu, and you have the lasso tool, the polygonal lasso tool, and the magnetic lasso tool. This lasso tool is also a selection tool, but the first one, the lasso tool, is a freehand selection tool, which means that I can just draw like this wherever I want to select, and it will be selected. And you can also fill in that layer with the lasso tool. Let's go back. Also, if we're using the polygonal lasso tool, it's still the same thing. It's a selection tool, but this time it creates lines. If I click, then I drag, I click, I drag, I click, I drag, I click, I drag, I click, and I drag, join it here. Now it creates a selection. Now I can fill this, select. Same thing with the magnetic lasso tool. Now let's go to the quick selection tool. With the quick selection tool, you can just select whatever you want to select very quickly. For instance, if I want to select this here, I will just click it and drag, and everything is selected. So now if I paint where it's selected, that's the only place that the paint will be applied. Select, deselect. So we have these, and these. These are the three selection tools that we have in Photoshop. So now let's go to the crop tool. The crop tool is basically like your crop tool on your phone. You can just basically use it to crop a particular section of it, and if I press enter, you just kind of like crop that part out. So let's go back. And the eyedropper tool, the eyedropper tool is used to select color. Let's say I want to select this color, and I want to use this color for something. And if I go to the foreground color palette here, and I'm finding it difficult to get the exact color, because getting the exact color, you might not be able to get the exact color that was used here. At least this looks almost near to it. Yeah, it's kind of like difficult to get the exact color anyway. So you see, we can get the same color. It's not easy, but if I want to get the same color, that's where the eyedropper tool will come in. If you click the eyedropper tool, I can use it to select this color, and then if I click on this color, it will bring the exact shade of the color up here. Now this is the color we want to use. If I click OK, now let's paint this. Now we have the same color. That is what the eyedropper tool is used for. Now we have the healing brush. The healing brush is a brush that you can use it to remove blemishes and demodel pictures that we'll see without pimples, spots and all. This is the healing brush that they use to remove all that from the face. This is a brush tool, and this is a clone stop tool. This is a clone stop tool. This tool is a very powerful tool. It comes in handy for some work. And we have the eraser tool. You use it to erase anything. Go back, and we have the paint bucket. We all know the paint bucket already. Go back, and we have the blur tool. This because kind of like, let me increase the size, just blur out the whole image. And we have the dodge tool. We have the pen tool. The pen tool can also be used as a selection tool, but it takes a little long. That if you want to select a particular image carefully, and you are editing and you don't want the selection to go outside of it, this is where the selection tool comes in handy. So basically, then you can just go to make selection. So that's that. Now we have the text tool. We all know what the text tool is. Just basically use it to type whatever you want to type. The text are too small. Let me increase the size. Let me put it at 30. So that's what the text tool is used for. Type anything. And this is also a part selection tool. It comes in handy. This is a shape tool, and this is the zoom tool. So basically, this is for everything that we have here. Now let's go to the ones we have here. This is the file. Click on the file. Here you have the new tool, the new icon where you can just create a new document. Here, open document, save documents. You can also save for web, depending on what you want to use your document for and all that. If you go to the edit tab, this is where you find the cut, copy, paste, copy, merge, paste, special fill, stroke, everything. All these things are also very important. When you go to the image tab, you have the mode. You can change the color mode. You can change it from grayscale to index to RGB, whichever one you want it to be. Then the adjustment. This is basically, this comes very much in handy. It's like a filter that you can use to just kind of like make everything pop up, pop out a little bit. Then we have the auto tone, we have auto contrast, auto color. All these things are also very important. They come useful when it's time for you to use them. Then the layer, you can create a new layer for this. Instead of creating a new layer from here, you can just go to here and create a new layer. But it's a long process. You can just click here and it will create a new layer for you. So duplicate layer, rename layer. Now here, layer 0. If I want to rename this layer, I can just click rename layer, and I just call it background layer. Ultimately, I can also double click here and change the name here. I can just call background layer 1. Background layer 1. So that's there. And we have the layer marks, new fill layer, new adjustment layer, vector marks. All these things, when we need it, I will explain them to you. On the type, the select tool, we've seen how I use the select and the select tool just now. Then the filter, these are just kind of like the filters you have on your phones that you just kind of use on picture. If I use the artistic filter on this, and I go to let's go to the cutout, this eye is going to look like. Let's change it. If I go to the artistic and I choose poster edge, it's going to look this way. So these are all filters for graphic. And then the 3D is available. We're not going into that now. Then the view tab, and we have the Windows tab. The Windows tab is also very important because you might want to use a particular tool and you can't find them on the screen. Let's say I want to use the character tool and I can't find it because basically I only have the histogram and the layers. And what I can just do is just go to the Windows and look for character. If you look at it, the ones that are checked are the ones that are available on the screen that you can see. The ones that are not checked are not available. So if I want the character tab to pop up, I will just click on the character and then it will pop up here. And then I can do whatever it is I want to do. So ultimately, I can just click here and close, or I can just go back to Windows and uncheck this and it close. So that's that. Then the help, and so let's go to this tab. This is the which is where you arrange everything you're doing. This is the when you want to create the layer marks. This is for adjustment layer. This is when you want to create a group and put everything you're doing in one folder, and this is for creating new layer. You see me use this a lot of time. Then we have this shortcut for some of the characters, like the character I just used. This is the shortcut also. You can just get it here. This is for the 3D that we have here. This is for paragraph. So all these other things are also useful in its own time.